Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're finally back to working on the truck. We're gonna get some things organized with some problems that we're having, and just, you know, kind of moving forward with some of the stuff on the interior, because the interior is in some pretty rough shape. So this will be the first video of the truck actually on my property, so I'll actually be able to put a lot more work into this truck. Things that we're going to try to tackle today are the manual choke cable, and then everything else like inside the cab. So I've got some things that just aren't functioning properly, so we're going to sort through those. Okay, so now that I got a little bit more room to work here, I have cleaned up as much as I possibly could. Now we're going to start working on some of the dash components here. Everything is functional except for the choke cable, and I want to take out the little horn button here because this horn button no longer functions because I have turn signals and everything like that all up on the dash. So I want to have a cigarette lighter, obviously not for cigarettes, but for charging your cell phone and stuff like that. So we're going to test to see if this actually works. This is the one that came in the car when I bought it. So we'll see if it works. If it does, we're going to install it in the dash where the button is, and then relocate the button to probably a spot where you can't even see it. After testing this, it seems like it is not working in its current condition. So we're going to see if we can do something to make it work. So you've got your typical cigarette style plug-in for your car. The side connectors here are your ground, and then the end here with the little spring is the positive part of that. So we're just going to figure out, I've checked and we're getting a good ground from the side of this. We're just not getting any power. So when you look down in here, it's super nasty and corroded in there. So I'm thinking there's some kind of connection issue down there, just because it's not, you know, metal to metal contact. So we're going to try to clean that up. So I'm going to try to find a way to get something long enough to get in there, clean that up a little bit, and hopefully we can get a better connection. As you can see, I've gotten a little bit of that cleaned up down there, a lot of scraping and sanding and everything, and the inside of it's looking a lot cleaner. So the fact that we can see bare metal down there, if this is a good unit, then it should work once we hook this up. So first off, we're just going to plug this in. This is just a charging box for this flashlight. The light here should light up to indicate that we've got power to it. So we're going to take the wire coming out of the back of this, just touch it to the positive side of the battery, and then we're going to take this test cable and then just put it to the ground terminal on here and touch it to the negative side of the battery, and the light should come on. There we go. Okay, so first off, we're going to pop out the gauge cluster, and then we'll have better access to all the wiring for all the switches up here. Also, I'm going to go ahead and remove the choke cable while we got the dash cluster out. So right now I'm just trying to figure out which way and how much length we need. So I've got this like just temporarily rigged up to see what we're going to do. But I had an idea for this. Okay, so I've got an old burn-up welder. And inside here, the liner is exactly what you need. So we're going to take the liner out, cut what section we need, because this gun needs a new liner anyways. So we're going to take that out and see if that's going to work for our manual choke setup. As you can see, I pulled the liner off of the old MIG gun. It's going to be the perfect size that we need, actually. And like every project I do, I screwed something up, and in the little pull handle for the manual choke, I snapped the wire off inside there, so I'm going to have to drill it out and then hopefully be able to clamp another wire down inside there. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I got that drilled out, and I went ahead and stuck another wire in there. So I'm going to have to straighten this wire out. Obviously, this was actually a spring that I stretched out because I had absolutely no wire laying around the shop, so don't judge me. But I'm going to clamp this thing down, that way the wire doesn't slip out, and we should be good. We've got this done now, so when you pull the cable, you can see this shortens here, and then as you push it, it gets longer. So we've got this trimmed to size for right now. We'll have to trim it again once we get it in the truck, but let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now is where you got to figure out what length you want. So I'm going to run this through the back. We're going to run this through the clamp right here and secure this up here. Okay, as you can see, I've got the liner from the MIG gun clamped in right here. The wire's going through and it's clamped in the front. Let's see if I can manually open and close the choke from the inside of the cab. Okay, here's try number 1. For whatever reason, I'm getting it to open but not close. It might just be because of the way the wire is routed, but let's try to figure it out. Okay, so after a lot of adjusting, I had to shorten up the liner from the MIG gun that we used and then the wire on the inside. That way I'd have full travel of the choke mechanism on here. So this should work properly. I'm gonna go ahead and test it out. One last thing to note here, where the choke cable is actually coming through, you want to make sure that it's not bound up in any kind of way. You don't want any like really tight kinks in the line or anything like that. Yeah, let's give this a shot. Got the cigarette lighter mounted back up in there, and on the back side I still have the terminal, the negative terminal I have to hook up, as well as the positive terminal that's coming off the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and wire those up, and again, we are on a aftermarket fuse panel back there, so your application might look different than this, but really it's all the same. Okay, so I've got the positive hooked back up on the battery. We're gonna go inside the cab here, where we've got a power inverter that I use if I need to like plug my laptop in and charge it while I'm driving. So I've got that plugged into the cigarette lighter port. So we're gonna go ahead and hit it with some juice and see if it kicks on here. Yep, there it is. Okay guys, so those were 2 big projects that I wanted to do and kind of keep the factory look. So those are ways that you can get around, you know, possibly having to order a, you know, couple $100 worth of choke cables and all these special bezels and everything. If you've got the stuff, it's just broken, just kind of use your brain and you can, you know, think of something that will work perfectly. That MIG liner is almost exactly a match for what this truck had when I purchased it, and I wanted to keep that factory look. Anyways, next video is going to be a setup that I'm going to build for my 4K video editing. I'm having some issues with my computer, so I wanted to order some parts and try to build my own. So the next video will be on that. I want to thank you for watching the video. If you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. There's plenty more projects that are going on, like the Nova, the F100, the Mustang. Make sure that you're subscribed so that you can see all the updates on those. But for now, I'm gonna keep working on this thing, and then I'll catch you guys on another video.